welcome to OFAD 207, Integrated Applications. My name is Ann Mills and I will be the professor for this course throughout the fall semester. And I've created this demo just to kind of give you an overview of the course. I've already introduced myself, but this syllabus I'd like to take a look at, the tabs that are in Blackboard, the discussion board assignments and how to get started on those, quizzes where you can find those, the tests, and the tasks to be completed for week 1. So with that, I want to go ahead and open up the syllabus, and you can find this syllabus in the syllabus tab in Blackboard as well as in the Start Here button in Blackboard. You'll notice at the top of the syllabus the contact information for me. That information is also found in the Professor tab in Blackboard. You'll also find my office hours in Blackboard, and we'll refer to those when we get into the tabs in Blackboard. The supervisor's name and contact information is there, as well as online learning support. Tony Toon is a great contact if you have questions regarding Blackboard, Campus Connect, and if he doesn't know the answer, he can certainly find a resource to help you. You'll notice at the top of page 2 that the prereq for this course is CINS 101, Introduction to Microcomputers. And in that course, if you remember, it does have Word, Access, PowerPoint, and Excel. And we will have those same applications in this course, but we'll be learning some of the more advanced features. I'll let you take a look at the catalog description, the major course learning objectives, course content. You can read through those on your own. At the top of page 3, you're going to find the required text, the information regarding that. And you'll also find that in the textbook tab in Blackboard. I've also indicated that you might want to purchase a USB drive, and that's only for your own benefit or purposes. If you want to save any of these assignments that you do as a backup, you can certainly do that on a USB drive, or you can save them on your hard drive if you're working from a home computer. You'll also be required to use Microsoft Office 2013, and that software is found in the libraries at all the Ivy Tech campuses. However, you can, if you don't already have Office 2013, you can download a free version of Office 2013. It's actually called Office 365 for university students. And in that, you'll have Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. It is a 1-year subscription, and it can be renewed as long as you're an Ivy Tech student. So you'll find that I've shown you the directions here. In Campus Connect, there's a link on the left-hand side, so you can find that and download it if you need it on your computer. How to order textbooks, you may already have gone through that process, so that may not be important to you. Technology needs and resources, you want to read through that. I do want to indicate to you that this is a web-based course, obviously, and we do expect that you understand computer basics, whether that be with emails, using browsers, anything that's just basic computer usage. We expect you to know this since you're in an online course. We also expect that students check their Ivy Tech email accounts at least within a 48-hour period. That way, if we need to contact you or give you any additional information, we can do that. So make sure that you're checking that. Just more information about the USB drives and headphones and things like that. I do want to bring your attention, I guess, to the headphones. I have demonstrations in this course that I've created that kind of take you through the chapters as I would if I were in the classroom, just guiding you through the features and concepts that are taught in the chapter. So those demonstrations are there. I recommend a high-speed internet if you're planning to view those. And I do encourage you to do so. I think they're very helpful tools, especially to those that are visual learners. So hopefully those will help. If you do come to the library at your local campus, make sure that you do bring headphones or earbuds so that you're not disturbing those around you. College policies, I'll let you read through those on your own. We, at least in the School of Business, have these college policies in all of our syllabi, so you may be familiar with those already. So make sure that you read through those. Course policies and procedures. The syllabus and course calendar are actually in one document. We'll find the course calendar at the bottom of the syllabus. So we'll get to that, but obviously your syllabus and your course calendar will guide you through the semester, letting you know of assignments that are due or tests that are coming up. And I also, in addition to that course calendar, strongly recommend that you review the announcement area in Blackboard every week. announcement area is the means that I'll use to provide you with updates or changes to the syllabus, anything that may be going on in the course. I'll provide that in an announcement. So make sure that you check your announcements, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Attendance policy, last date to drop without academic penalty is November 15th. So since this is an online class, the way we measure participation is through weekly assignments or tests, quizzes that you take each week. So if you don't complete a quiz or an assignment in a particular week, then that counts as an absence for that week. So anyway, we do have another date here. If you do not submit any assignment before September 5th, then as a faculty member we can drop you from the course. However, to be careful with that, there are times when faculty, I know in the past, have overlooked students that hadn't been attending, and the student thought, well, I'm not attending anymore, my professor will drop me, and they didn't get dropped. So it's your responsibility as a student that if you know you're going to be dropping a class or you're struggling in the class and need to drop it, you need to take the appropriate steps to drop yourself from the course. Am I required to come to campus for this class? Yes, you are. There are 2 proctored exams that will be given throughout the semester, midterm and a final, and those are, like I said, proctored, and they'll be administered at the local campuses. Now, if you're in the Evansville area, you'll be coming to the Workforce Certification Center. If you're at another region, you'll need to locate the testing center at your local Ivy Tech campus. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the assignments and grading area. The instructional method, obviously, is online distance learning. They give you some additional information about that. And these are some good reminders as what it takes to be a successful online student. So, then moving down to page 7, the methods of evaluation, you'll notice we'll have 2 tests, the midterm and the final. Each of those will be worth 200 points. The midterm letter will be an assignment, will be worth 40 points. We'll have chapter quizzes for each of the chapters, and there'll be approximately 9 or 10 quizzes. We will be dropping the lowest quiz. There aren't any makeups for quizzes, so in lieu of that, we will be dropping your lowest quiz score. And then discussion board assignments will have approximately 8 or 9 of those. So be on the lookout for those, but I put tentatively beside that because I'm not sure how many we'll have. And just as a reminder too, the coursework, any coursework has to be completed by Wednesday. That's in the middle of finals week, Wednesday, December 17th. So be careful and make sure that you get everything submitted by then. Also, the way you calculate your score, you may already know this, but you're going to be adding the total possible points that you have, and then you'll also add the number of earned points that you've received throughout the semester. You'll take your earned points, divide those by the possible points. That'll give you a percentage, and then you can convert that percentage to a letter grade. So at any point you should be able to determine what your grade is in the course. All the scores will be posted to the Grade Center in Blackboard, so it's your responsibility to check that grade book and make sure that it's the scores are correct. Make sure that you're doing that on a weekly basis, and don't wait until the end of the semester to go back and review it. And then we'll try to fix the situation then. Do it on a weekly basis and be proactive in that. Course exams, I've also put those in here as far as when those will occur. The midterm, or what we call the test 1, will be October 13th through the 18th. So you'll have any of those days in that time frame. You can come in to the certification center. If you're on the Evansville campus, and if you're outside the Evansville campus, you'll need to locate a proctor at one of the Evansville or at one of the Ivy Tech campuses. So the first one is 13th through the 18th, which is Monday through Saturday. The final exam, test 2, is December 11th through the 17th, and this is a little bit different time frame as far as days are concerned. It starts on a Thursday, which will be a Thursday before finals week. It will be available to you then through the following Wednesday. So, and I did that so that those who need a Saturday option for testing will have that built in. The next paragraph gives you information on how to contact the certification center. And again, that's if you're in the Evansville region. And then I've given a section here for those students who are outside the Evansville region. And again, those students need to locate their proctor on their local Ivy Tech campus, and then they need to find that proctor's name, phone number, and email address, and email that to me as soon as you can, so I can get the test and other information to them so that the test is ready when the time frame comes. And you know, it might be a good idea, I'm going to go back up here just a minute, for you to, if you know up front, if you know what days are best for you, that you go ahead and schedule these. You can schedule test 1 and test 2. Since this is a midterm week, that's probably going to be a busy week and maybe a little bit more difficult to get in to do testing. So if the earlier you can get in and make that appointment, get a day, time that's most convenient for you, you may want to do that. And the same thing with test 2. That's during finals week, so more people are going to be testing during that week. So you may want to get a head start on scheduling your test. Okay, the quizzes. There will be approximately 11 quizzes throughout the semester. Each quiz has 20 questions. Total points for that quiz will be 10 points, so each question is worth a half a point. There aren't any makeup for quizzes, which I've indicated before. However, we will drop the lowest quiz score at the end of the semester. Each of the quizzes has a time limit of 30 minutes, so if you go over 30 minutes, there is a penalty for that, and for every 15 seconds that you go over the time limit, there will be a half a point deducted. So, and I can see that if you've gone over 30 minutes, typically I believe it's a green check mark that will appear in the grade center, and that will alert me to go back and look to see how many minutes that you've gone over the 30 minutes. So it won't give you a score immediately. I'll have to go through and manually process that and give you the score. So although you can use your books, obviously, to as you take your quiz, keep in mind you probably need to study before you go into that, because you're not going to have enough time to look up every question. Alright, and then the discussion board assignments, again, these are to simulate discussions that you would have in the classroom. So those questions are hopefully trying to stimulate how you can use those features and concepts that you've learned in the chapter to real life situations. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into Blackboard. The deadline for all discussion board assignments will be on Sunday at midnight, and actually all of our assignments, whether they're quizzes or discussion board assignments, those are all going to be due at midnight on Sunday every week. So. Alright, the makeup policy for tests, since we only have 2 tests, we do have a policy on it, and I'm going to read these to you because there's kind of steep consequences for tests that are not taken on time, like after the time allotted. So in the first paragraph it says, if a student knows in advance that a test cannot be taken at its scheduled time, the student may arrange with the instructor to take the test before the regularly scheduled test time with no penalty. So in other words, back to, I've already forgotten the dates. So if you know that you're not going to be available October 13th through the 18th to take the test, you can certainly take it before October 13th, and there's no penalty for doing that because you're taking it before everybody else takes it, so there's no penalty. In the second paragraph it says, if a student knows in advance that the test cannot be taken at the scheduled time and cannot take the test before the regularly scheduled time, then the student may arrange to make up the test 1 week following the scheduled time with a 30% penalty. So, for example, our tests are worth 200 points, and if you're starting out with a 30% penalty, then you're starting out with 140 points. So you've already lost a lot of points before even starting. So, with that in mind, again, if you're not going to be able to take the test between October 13th through the 19th, you can come in the following week and take it, as long as you've contacted me beforehand. And there's a paragraph a little bit lower that will describe that in just a minute. But you need to contact me beforehand, and we can make arrangements to make it up the week following. If you do that, you can do that 1 week as a grace period, but there will be a 30% penalty. Okay, and then this, if test is not made up during that following week, you'll receive a 0. So if you're doing it, November 14th, we're not going to allow that. So anything after that week grace period, you're not going to be able to make it up. And then if a student does not contact the instructor by phone, okay, prior to the test or that scheduled test time, the student will not be able to make up the test and therefore will receive a 0 for that test. So, and I need a phone call rather than an email, because I've had students in the past who have emailed me or said they have, and it's gotten lost in cyberspace, I guess. So, and I never received it. So, phone call, I'm giving you the phone number at the very top of the syllabus, and it's also found in the Professor tab. So even if I'm not here, just leave a message and let me know that you're not going to be able to make it up. And we don't have to make that arrangement immediately. You know, I've had students who are sick, and if they call me beforehand, they don't feel like talking and making arrangements now, and that's okay. Just as long as you let me know by phone, then I can call and we can schedule a time later. As I mentioned previously, there are no makeups for quizzes. However, the lowest quiz score will be dropped. So that's described further in that makeup policy for quizzes. And then attendance policy, again, is described earlier what participation is in an online course, and the last date to drop without academic penalty is Saturday, November 15th. And again, that's your responsibility to take the initiative to drop yourself. Please know that losing your internet connection at home or work does not mean that you can use this as an excuse for work not completed. So keep that in mind. Try to plan accordingly for your quizzes or any discussion board assignments. Make sure that those are done plenty of time so that you're not waiting until 11 o'clock on Sunday night to try to complete those, and maybe Blackboard is down or maybe you lose connection on your internet. Don't wait till the last minute. Allow yourself plenty of time, not only for yourself, but if you have questions or whatever, then I have a chance to respond to you if you're not waiting till the last minute. Okay, and then inappropriate use of college computers, you can read through that. And the right of revision, we have the right as faculty to be able to adjust the course calendar if necessary. And again, if any changes are made, I will do that through the announcement area. So make sure that you check that on a weekly basis, and like I said previously, I'll typically get that announcement posted prior to noon on Monday of each week. Alright, then on page 11 you're going to see the calendar of activities. Same information that's at the top of the syllabus is here again, and also in the Professor tab. And then what I've attempted to do here is give you an outline of what's going to be happening each week. So in week 1 we start out 8:25, that begins Monday, and then the due dates for these are Sunday at midnight, so 8:31. So in the first week we'll be looking at chapter 4, covers objective 1. I'm going to go back to the topic. There's a discussion board assignment and a quiz that'll be associated with that chapter. Then in the last column you'll see assignments and assessments. These are suggested, strongly suggested assignments that you complete. This will test you to see whether or not you understood the concepts, and it'll also prepare you for what might be on the test. So although these are not submitted for a grade or any points are assigned to those, I'm assuming that you are doing those. And if you're having problems with them, or if you run into features that aren't reacting the way they should, I need you to let me know that. And if you're struggling with completing an assignment, and I'm calling these assignments loosely because an assignment typically means turn it in for a grade, but these are not for grades. These are ways that you can improve and kind of solidify in your own mind whether or not you know the topics and features that were taught in that chapter. And I will be posting the results, kind of what those assignments should look like once they're completed. There'll be PDF files that will that you can compare yours to these PDF files. So, and if you have any questions as you're going along doing these assessments and assignments, and you want to send me the file and ask me a question on what you're doing, I'll be glad to answer that. I'm more than happy to help you with that. And there are probably, there's in the lab case problems, there are so many assignments at the end of the chapters that would be extremely beneficial for you to complete. I'm just highlighting these at least to get you on track. And if you can, do more. The more you practice these features, the better you're going to be at it, the more comfortable you're going to feel, especially when it comes test time. So I highly recommend doing these. I'll never know if you do them, but I'll know it when you take the midterm and the final, because that shows up if you haven't been doing not only these assignments but also the exercises that are in the chapter. It'll show up on what you know on the tests. So there's week 2. We are skipping chapter 5 of Word, so notice that. This is jumping to chapter 6. And again, on every one of these, we've got week 3 is chapter 4 of Excel, giving you some suggestions on assignments to do at the end of the chapter. There's quizzes. Notice in week 4 and 5 we're covering just one chapter. So chapter 5 you'll be working on Excel chapter 5. There's quite a bit to that chapter, and so we're going to cover that over a 2-week period. See chapter 6 and 7 of Excel. Notice the discussion board and quizzes, and I will confirm what you need to be doing in the announcement area. So I'll give you tasks to be completed each week. Those should align with what you see on the the course calendar here. They'll kind of be, I'll be giving it to you on both sides. So it will be on the course calendar and in the announcement area. Then notice in week 8, we've got the first test, which will cover Word and Excel. And then we move on, Access. There'll be a week in here with integration between Word and Excel. So that doesn't really have a chapter, but I do have I'm going to call it an assignment and a handout that shows you how to do that. Then we'll be looking at PowerPoint. And then at the end of the semester, weeks 15 and 16, I've kind of already alluded to this, you'll take test 2, and that'll be starting in week 15. But you've got from December 17th to it starts December 11th on the Thursday through Wednesday, December 17th. So you'll have both weeks there to work on that and go to the testing center to complete it. Okay, so that's the syllabus and the course calendar. Go ahead and close out of that. And I'd like to go into Blackboard and just kind of give you an overview. If you'll notice, I've gone to courses and I've already opened up the integrated online course. You'll notice the tabs on the left, as I mentioned before, the announcement area, and you'll want to read through this again. I've given you a lot of this information already, but I would highly recommend that you go through and read these again. Course syllabus, the attendance, discussion board. I'm skimming through these, but I'm expecting you to read through them. Chapter assignments, the demonstrations, we'll show you where those are in just a minute. I've put the test dates in here again. Quizzes, textbooks, and then the tasks to be completed. I'll try, and not all my announcements will be this long every week. This is kind of a lengthy one, but I'll definitely provide you with the tasks that need to be completed in each of the weeks, and again, they should align with what you see on the course calendar. So for the first week, you need to be reading over Word Chapter 4, reviewing the demonstrations, chapter assignments. Those are the ones that are at the end, and especially those that I've highly recommended to you on the course calendar. And any additional ones you can do, I highly, highly recommend. I talk about the student data files, the discussion board, complete the Word Chapter 4 discussion board assignment, and then Chapter 4 quiz. And the deadline for the discussion board and the quiz are both midnight on Sunday. Okay? So back to the tabs on the left here. The start here, if you're viewing this demonstration, you've already found that. The syllabus, I have a separate tab for that so that you can immediately go to that if you need to, even later on in the semester. The textbook tab gives you the information about the textbook and then a picture of the textbook. The professor tab shows my name, office hours, ways that you can get in touch with me. The demonstrations tab, I want to highlight this for just a minute. This is what I was referring to before. Right now you're probably only seeing the Word folder, but if you click in on that, you'll also see Chapter 4, which will be this first week. I know I've got 6 here, but it's just hidden from you. But in Chapter 4, you click on the Chapter 4 folder, and there are links to each one of these items within the chapter. And typically, if you do them in order, you'll find that the information is covered on pages 201 to 210. So there's a step-by-step building of the document or spreadsheet that's being created within each of the chapters. So you may want to review that. Again, it's a great visual. And if you also want to pause the videos at any time and go do the actual exercise that's found in the book, you can do that simultaneously, or you can just view the demos first and then go on your own within the chapter and complete those. However works best for you in the learning environment. And as always, if you have trouble understanding a concept, I really need you to reach out and email me and let me know that. So those are your demonstrations. The chapter quizzes, each week not each week, but for every chapter, you're going to have a chapter quiz. And so you can just click on the link, and that will start you for 30 minutes, and it needs to be done all in 30 minutes. Don't try to save and exit out, but complete the entire quiz and then submit it. And again, it'll grade those for you. Now, I've only allowed the submitted answers to be shown, and I do that on purpose. If you miss a question, then what I would like for you to do, if you don't know what the answer is, I'd like for you to look that up in the textbook, find the answer, then you can email me and say, hey, question number 13, can you review that for me? I've noticed I've been marked incorrect on this, but I think the correct answer should be this. Then I can look at that and double check to make sure that the answer is indeed correct that you've given me. So if you don't know an answer, or if you've missed one of the questions on the quiz, I need you to look up the answer first and see if you can find it in the textbook, and if you can't, then I will respond back to you with what the correct answer should be. So, course documents, this is kind of a catch-all tab, and you'll notice here a grading rubric for the discussion board. I've also put other kind of handouts in here. Probably have a review sheet for test 1 and test 2, but anything that I put in here, I will make a note of that in the announcement area, so you'll know to go to look in the course documents area. Then you'll see in the discussions tab on the left hand side, you'll have a question for each one of the chapters, and you just need to click on that particular chapter, and then you can respond to the question. You do not need to respond to another student. Just answer the question in your own words. So, and I will grade that after all the discussion boards have been submitted, and after the deadline date, I'll start grading those. And then the grades section, this is where your grades will be posted, and also your quiz grades, you'll be able to see those immediately. So, okay, so I think we've gone over that. Let me make sure I've covered everything here. Tests, quizzes, discussion board, yeah. Okay, so I think we've covered everything there. If you have any further questions, feel free to email me or call me, and I look forward to having you in class this semester. I hope it's a great semester for you.